All right, here we are at the panel saw. The panel saw is an opportunity for a person who may not have a partner nearby to cut some large sheet stock. It's an opportunity also where if the table saw is being used, this is where we can go to cut some large sheet stock. So there's a lot of possibilities with this. Basically, it's a circular saw, a handheld circular saw on a guided track. So it's not that complicated, it's just about managing the material and setting up appropriately. A couple of things that you're going to want to know. The stock sits in rollers, so it can move easily back and forth and through. The saw itself moves up and down on a pull winch and slides up on these pieces. You can set stops so that you're not able to go beyond certain distances if that's what you're aiming for with regards to your overall ability. Okay, what you're basically going to do is you're going to make a mark, all right, and you can make a mark on your piece of material that travels the whole distance. So if you're saying this is my waistline right here, you're going to want to make sure that you can see that below the fence, you know, and if you don't really care because you're just trying to get a piece of scrap material or something like this in our case. So this is our waistline, we want to cut this off. What we're going to do is we're going to slide this in, all right, in line with, there's a green line on here which tells you where the blade of the saw is, okay? You can also always check, just crouch down and check to make sure that the blade is where you want it, all right? Rotating down, checking to make sure that, yes, that's where I want to cut it, and that's exactly, you know, where I want. Now, the other thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that this material is held in place. Now, you can always put you're never going to put your hands in between the guides, that's dangerous, so you can put yourself outside of here. If you're going to have material that's not going to be supported outside of the guard, you're going to want to make sure that you get a clamp. So, what you do is you get a clamp from the clamp area, a clamp like this, and so what you can do is you can just reach in here, clamp that material, you've got that clamp held down, now you have that material in place, it's not going to go anywhere. This time I'm going to hold it with my own hands. All I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the saw, I'm going to make sure it's all the way up, and I'm going to turn it on, I'm going to push all the way through to the bottom because I want a through cut. I'm going to turn off the saw and then retract it. Okay, so again, I'm going to make sure that it's lined up where I want it. One last time, yep, that's where I want. All right, I'm going to turn on the saw. I'm going to push all the way through the material, get to the bottom, turn it off. All right, I may take the material that I have supporting my hand and move it away and leave that piece that's clamped in place. All right, turn off the saw, it's going to stay, it's going to turn off, and then I'm going to retract it. So here we go. Okay, it's all the way to the bottom. I turned it off. I have my material. Raise this back up. All right, it's out of the way. I have this material. I'm able to take this off, this sheet stock. This piece was clamped in place. Remove the clamp. Take that material, and I've cut my sheet stock nice and straight, exactly where I want it. And now I have my two pieces of material. I have my panel cut down. This can do large pieces. It can do miter cuts, it can do rips, but it's designed for panel stock. All right, if you're going to do miters, it would have to be beyond the capability of our miter saws, so beyond about 13.5 inches. And so this is when that saw would kick in as the best option to perform a miter cut. With a rip cut, it would be a panel cut because you'd be doing long rips on the table saw. Okay, so panel saw, another option and capability for making some cuts. It should not be done for small pieces. It's just for a large stock like panels or pieces that are beyond the capabilities of the other saws in the lab. Thank you, and look forward to moving forward.